Sehr geehrter Herr Präsident, meine Damen und Herren, sehr geehrte Schwule, sehr geehrte Lesben, sehr geehrte Androgyne, sehr geehrte Bigender, sehr geehrte Frau zu Mann und sehr geehrte Mann zu Frau, sehr geehrte Gendervariable, sehr geehrte Genderqueer.
Biden's a good president. Yeah, I'm asking if Joe Biden's a good president.
Oh.
So I wasn't red-pilled. I've always been this way.
Sehr geehrte Intersexuelle, sehr geehrte Weder-noch-Geschlechter, sehr geehrte Geschlechtslose, sehr geehrte Nicht-Binäre, sehr geehrte Pangender und Pangeschlechtlichen, sehr geehrte Transmännliche und Transmänner, sehr geehrte Transweibliche und Transfrauen.
If Joe Biden was here right now, what would you tell him?
Tell him to get out of office, man. Shit up. He's old. He's falling off of bikes and it's over, man. Give it up.
I tell him, let Trump back in office. He did better for the black culture.
Trump 2024, man.
Yeah, I can't tell me he's not a great president. I mean, he might not be our president, but he's a great president. You know, screw the cost of living and the inflation and the high food prices. Screw all that. He's going to take care of his people.
Sehr geehrte Transmenschen, sehr geehrte Trans mit Stern, sehr geehrte Transstern weiblich und Transstern Frauen, sehr geehrte Transstern männlich und Transstern Männer, sehr geehrte Transmenschen, sehr geehrte Transfeminine, sehr geehrte transsexuelle Personen, sehr geehrter Interstern weiblich und sehr geehrter Interstern männlich.
Abgeordneter, gestatten Sie eine Zwischenfrage?
Ich bin ja noch nicht mit der Begrüßung fertig, Herr Präsident. Entschuldigung. Sehr geehrte Interstern Männer, sehr geehrte Interstern Frauen, sehr geehrte Interstern Menschen.
Jesus.
Opinion, the only way to do that is to get rid of birth control. I don't think it'll ever go back unless that's
That's
gone.
an interesting point.
Because that's when you see everything switch. If you look at the divorce rate graph, like as soon as divorce spiked, at the same time, that was when more women were getting on birth control. Because you're taking away, because that's the thing, like society takes away the consequence for everything women do. Like we have no consequences for anything. If we sleep around, we don't get pregnant because of birth control. Even if we do get pregnant, we have abortion. Even if we do get pregnant and keep the kid, he pays child support. Even if we do get pregnant, get married, get divorced, we get alimony or child support again.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if we're bad with our finances and we're homeless, there's women's shelters.
Sehr geehrte Intergender, sehr geehrte intergeschlechtlich, sehr geehrte Zweigeschlechtlichen und sehr geehrte Zwitter, sehr geehrte Hermaphroditen, sehr geehrte Two-Spirit drittes Geschlecht und sehr geehrtes viertes Geschlecht, sehr geehrte XY-Frauen, sehr geehrte Transvestiten, sehr geehrter Crossgender, sehr geehrtes Nullgeschlecht und natürlich auch ganz herzlich die sehr geehrten sonstigen Geschlechter. Sehr geehrter Unterstrich Nonnemacher, sehr geehrter Unterstrich Bader und sehr geehrter Unterstrich Mus. Die AfD-Fraktion lehnt Ihren Antrag ab. Danke.
Racism in this country is a hologram. It's a tool used by the powers that be to keep us, the populace, looking at each other instead of looking up and seeing what they're doing. All right? And they use it, you know. White people are like, oh, don't go over there. Those black people, they're stealing white babies. Oh, Lord, Jesus, you stay away from them black people. The black people are going to get you. All right? And black folks, y'all were the same thing. Those cracker-ass white people, they're putting stuff in chicken, make your junk fall off. Nuh-uh. That's right. And make a thing drop right off. Sure will. The truth of the matter is, it's rich and poor. Like where I grew up in Arkansas, there was no black or white. We're all broke, okay? What's your color? Poor, okay? You know, and that's the truth of the matter, you know? When you eat your cereal out of a Cool Whip bowl stained with chili or spaghetti sauce, does it really matter if you're black or you're white? You're broke.
Remember John F. Kennedy Jr.? He was declared the front runner for the New York Senate seat back in 1999. Days later, his plane crashed into the Atlantic Ocean, and his rival, Hillary Clinton, was elected senator. Mary Mahoney was a Clinton White House intern. She knew enough of the inner workings of Bill's sexual advancements to be a star witness during the Clinton impeachment trials. She was brutally executed at a Starbucks she was managing in 1997. In 1993, White House counsel Vince Foster was found dead in Fort Marcy Park near D.C. He supposedly killed himself, and among a lengthy list of potential foul play, the bullet was never found.
Then there's James McDougal, a key witness for White House prosecutors. He was serving his 3-year sentence for bank fraud at the Fort Worth Federal Medical Center in Texas. And just before he was to give a testimony before the grand jury, McDougal suffered a heart attack in solitary confinement.
In 2015, Walter Scheib, a White House chef hired under Bill Clinton, joined the list. His body was found at the bottom of a river, nearly 2 miles from the base of the trail he was reportedly hiking. An autopsy determined that Scheib's death was accidental drowning, but he might have known too much. 27-year-old Democratic National Committee staffer Seth Rich was shot and killed in D.C. this year. There is speculation that he was the source of the controversial leaked emails allegedly sent by DNC staffers, and that he may have been murdered in retaliation. Then Sean Lucas, the lead attorney in a fraud case against the DNC, was found lying on the bathroom floor by his girlfriend when she returned home on August 2nd. His death was reported classified, pending the results of an autopsy.
To this day, questions.
You're telling me the FBI is corrupt? What are you, some sort of conspiracy guy? Right, besides the Trump raid, what have the FBI been up to in the last few years? Well, harassing parents for opposing critical race theory and LGBT curriculum. What about the Biden laptop story? December 2019, FBI receives the Hunter Biden laptop. According to 14 FBI whistleblowers, they were ordered not to investigate it and not to even open the laptop. A year later, right before the election, the story breaks and all of the mainstream media says, according to the FBI, this is Russian misinformation. None of the evidence of Hunter or Joe Biden's corrupt business dealings in Ukraine or China are real. They are Russian propaganda. Social media is then commanded by the FBI to censor the story. Based on what evidence? Well, none. They made it up. The media quietly admitted that the laptop was real and moved on to the next lie. They lied because they knew the CNN drones would believe it. And now they're investigating Trump, and people will believe whatever they say then too. To quote FBI Assistant Director Peter Strzok, "We'll stop Trump from winning this election."
I love this story so much. In 1877, a disabled railway worker from South Africa named Jumper Wide was at the local market when he came across a baboon leading a wagon. Jumper was impressed by the animal, and since he had recently lost his legs in an accident and needed some help at work, he convinced the owner to let him buy it. Now it turns out this baboon, named Jack, was basically an alcoholic and would only work if given brandy. So as Jumper began training Jack to use signals and pull levers to direct the trains, this fellow was almost always drunk. But before long, Jack could somehow already do everything entirely by himself, so Jumper started to just sit back and watch. For a while, everyone was happy. But one day, Jack was spotted by a woman on a train, and being a baboon, was reported to the railway. The management office was shocked, and a man was immediately sent down to fire the duo. But when the guy actually saw Jack work, he instead decided to make him an official employee alongside Jumper. For the next 9 years, Jack was given a salary of 20 cents a day and half a bottle of beer a week. Throughout that time, he never made even one mistake. Jack passed away in 1890, a local celebrity. His skull was preserved at the Albany Museum in South Africa, where it rests to this day.